fun activity. Someone who hasn't known the songs. Anyone want to raise your hand? You want have some idea? Yes, David. Change the way they live their lifestyle. Do you know it? Do you have you guess something specific? Okay, that could be one thing. Are you trying to raise your hand? Um, anyone else? Take a guess. Yes. Okay, so I was getting the resources of Peter debt, right? Am I understanding that correctly? Okay. So spending on certain things and not spending on certain things. Okay. There's some good answers here. Anyone else? So our agenda for today, learn about the responses of two countries, that is the US, as well as the Soviet Union, the rise of communism during the war period. Our objective for today, the ability to identify the ways that communism serves as a response to economic and political change that occurred after World War One. Now, what we're are the ideologies that respond to those political economic changes that came at the end of World War One. And what this is the unit that what we like to call extreme ideology. We go back to the title of this whole lesson. Extreme ideologies. Extreme, they're called extreme because there's something that at the time society hasn't seen. But before I like to present what is like a little bit different from the extreme, which is our side, the US. So now we move on to what we want to talk about, which is extreme ideology. So all these extreme ideologies that we're going to learn, communism today, and what we're going to learn tomorrow, fascism, what I like to categorize them as totalitarianism. So if you're taking notes, the voted words are where you write down the blanks. So totalitarianism, these governments are government that attempts to assert total control over the lives of the citizens. So these are considered extreme ideologies because they're trying to control basically every facet of their of people's lives. And as we learn today and tomorrow, we will see how much understand learning today and today's assessment. We have a fun activity. Okay. All of you good? Copied it down. Got that? So communism. Communism, the ideology that we're learning today. It's basically, to summarize, it's both an economic and political philosophy. So basically, in what we know as society, we live in a capital, right? And the action of producing goods that we buy is usually up to private businesses. Well, communism does like the opposite. It takes away the production of those goods, the way to make them, and place that ownership of production towards the public community, people like you and me, the workers. The only thing besides that is the state government oversees this process of the ownership of production being transferred to the public, right? So it's not the private businesses that have the tools to make goods, it's the people. All good? All good now? All good? So, this slide, there's no blanks to fill. So our case study in communism is the Soviet Union. Soviet Union is the first country, I believe, who you really have a communist political system. So basically, we know Soviet Union today as. So the Soviet Union turned to communism. If you remember World War One, how many of you learned about the Russian Revolution? So what happened to the Russian Revolution? Can somebody explain to me? Yes. Basically, so the monarchy, the Tsar, the king. But why, according to this, why did they turn against? Why did the people turn against the monarchy? That's good. Want to add something? Vladimir Lenin, yes. Vladimir Lenin and his supporters were mostly working class people, right? So they were fed up with how Russia was what people see as misusing their resources. So they're already spending resources for war, right? But most of the resources are centered towards what? The wealthy and the monarchy. So the people want to change. So they overthrow the royal family and the Tsar. And not only that Russia pulled out of the war, they changed their system to communism, led by Vladimir Lenin, the guy who led the revolution, and it became known as Soviet Union. That is a summary of that. Now, communism goes right here. You could see as um, the main ideologies, the main beliefs of communism. So they are controlled by the workers, and in the flags here, Lenin wanted to create a democratic dictatorship of the proletariat. So proletariat here means the working class people, basically. What does the working class have? All the power, all the political power, all the power in society. Write that down with the line. And this should lead the true communism, a society with what? No social class. So all social class, wealthy, the middle class, the poor, all of that is eliminated. Everyone will be the slave. We will see an illustration of what that means in the next slide. Please write down the hold it. All done? Hold it. Oh, you guys have it there? Fine. So, so in the back shows this illustration after the revolution. See on the left for the revolution, who's on top of the pyramid? On top of the pyramid, that guy. The Tsar, along with the nobles, church, military leaders. It's kind of like, do you remember the French Revolution from last semester? That's kind of like that pyramid. The pyramid now is turned upside down after the revolution. Who's on top of the society right after the revolution? The working class, yes, along with some of the merchants or business owners, basically the middle class, and the Tsar is eliminated. So that's what the Russian Revolution did. That was an intention. That was it's trying to do. Now, not necessarily your notes, but to just let you know what the application of communism is like. Lenin died in 1924, and yes, so communism, when applied, did not work exactly how it intended to be. Stalin took leadership over Lenin because Lenin passed away in 1924. Stalin was really, paranoid with power struggles, and because communist system is a system that is heavily reliant on one leader, Stalin moved with an iron fist. He got rid of anyone that he suspected to be his political enemy. But not just that, he took away wealth from the rich and jailed them in Gulag. Yeah, and he took away crops and food from farmers. So this is what you see. What happened? So at that time, during the 1940s, there's a thing called the famine in Ukraine, which is part of the Soviet Union. And a lot of people, I'm not sure the exact people, about millions died. I think it's called the Holodrome, Holodrome. Yes. That's kind of like what Soviet Union looks like when Stalin took over. So even though it had good intentions, how it's applied was not was not applied well. So we have this fun class activity. It's individual, but it will be fun. It involves most fun thing we had for the past 3 days. I think it's the most fun thing. Each student will be assigned a role. You have cards. And how communism works. So, Mr. A time, you uh, so I'm gonna go to each one of you and you're gonna pick out a card.